Hi, my name is Dave Clark, and I'm a highly experienced neurologist with many years of expertise in the field, and I have mind-blowing news for you. 3 years ago, I had the privilege of being a member of an exceptional team consisting of neurologists and medical researchers. We assembled right here in our cutting-edge laboratory in Bethesda, Maryland, with the purpose of observing, researching, and analyzing the underlying causes of brain cell degradation. Through relentless dedication, working tirelessly day and night, and leveraging a groundbreaking technique capable of generating dependable early biomarkers for neurodegenerative changes, our hard work paid off. We made a groundbreaking discovery that has the potential to halt brain cell degradation, prevent memory loss, and eliminate mental fatigue once and for all. A breakthrough deserving of a Nobel Prize. We found that certain compounds allow the growth and regeneration of the brain cells themselves through a unique process of growing new cognitive support cells that help reconnect dying neurons with healthy ones. Experts call this regeneration process neurocognitive malleability, or neurocognitive adaptability. This newly found support cell has the capacity to repair and reconnect all the broken cells in the brain, feeding your neurons and unlocking brain rejuvenation. And however complicated this may seem, it's 100% natural, easy to use, and it's cheaper than your daily coffee. It can be done from anywhere, anytime, even from the comfort of your home, and starts working almost immediately. It's the only tested method that allows you to say goodbye to deteriorating brain cells forever. This life-changing solution has passed multiple trials before reaching you today in its final form, and holds a 100% efficiency rate with more than 35,000 test subjects. In just 4 minutes, I'll show you how to replicate the results and reach the lasting results you crave for. I will teach you what you need to do to put an end to the brain fog nightmare you've been experiencing and regain mental clarity, like I personally did in less than a month. Now, you're probably wondering why you didn't read about this on the front page of your newspaper. Well, authorizing such discoveries is a challenging process. Pharmaceutical companies, research institutes, and medical organizations all have to give their stamp of approval before something as significant as this can hit the news. And Big Pharma, which wants you to rely on their Band-Aid solutions for the rest of your life, is stifling all research so you never become completely healthy. Because every cured person means lost revenue. Your own doctor, under Big Pharma's strict orders, will refuse to say a word about its existence. And yet, this major full mental health restoring discovery is too important to be kept buried. So if you're here, put your phone on silent, close the door, and make sure you watch every second of this life-changing presentation. Because you'll discover exactly what's making your mental abilities decline, whether you realize it or not, how to stop it, and how to reach the perfect brain productivity Mother Nature gives. We need to spread the word quickly so that people can get well. But first, here's what you'll discover in this video. 1. I'll show you where the dreadful feeling of fuzziness or confusion really comes from, and how it can cause people to lose their memory and focus. 2. Once you uncover the root cause of your brain cell deterioration, you will be able to get your sharp thinking and razor-sharp focus back. Stop this debilitating disease from attacking your cognitive functions, and press the stop button on all of your memory problems forever. Neurologists admit that this miraculous method, which repairs all the broken circuits in the cognitive system, feeds your brain cells and unlocks brain rejuvenation, keeps your brain working at its best, and eliminates the disease that inevitably comes. This proven method works incredibly well for everybody, men and women, 20 or 80 years old, with memory problems for the past 7 days or the past 40 years. And if you're skeptical, believe me when I say that I understand you. If you or one of your loved ones have been forgetting small things or noticing you or them are neglecting important things and are afraid that one day you might not be able to remember the faces of your loved ones anymore, then today your world is about to change forever. Because you're moments away from a scientifically proven all-natural method that can finally improve and repair your brain health and functions 100% and give you back the sharp focus and perfect memory you once had. With absolutely no surreal mental efforts, expensive drugs, or crazy brain exercises, and without having to face that dismissive look of your doctors ever again. So sit tight, because the answers I'm going to reveal in less than 2 minutes from now will change everything you ever thought was true about deteriorating brain cells. Your doctor is dead wrong. The real reason why you or your loved one's brain cells are slowly dying is not normal, even though it's a condition that has affected so many innocent men and women, even at young ages. It has zero to do with hereditary genes, fatigue, your immune system, or age. No, the problem goes much deeper. The problem, as recent clinical evidence shows, backed by a dozen emerging reports, some even published in the Harvard Medical School's journal, is an imbalance of free radicals and antioxidants in the body, which slowly but surely leads to cell and tissue damage, wreaking havoc in your brain and on your overall cognitive health, while slowly lowering your cognitive functions. Have you ever wondered why every single year 200,000 Americans start to suffer from mild cognitive impairment, meaning their mental abilities are starting to decline? 20, 40, 60-year-olds, people that were simply abandoned by modern science. And yet there are men and women even in their late 90s with perfect brain focus. The answer is not for the weak of heart. But once you learn it, it will give you the key to finally stop this debilitating disease and regain your crystal clear thinking and mentality. Picture the day when you hit a bump in the road and you need to quickly find a solution for a problem, and almost instantly finding exactly what you need without second thinking. Never again having to forget little things or words, or have them on the tip of your tongue, or misplace keys, or lose your wallet. Never again having to feel the pressure, that annoying thought in the back of your mind that you won't be able to remember the simplest thing during a conversation and make a fool of yourself. Never again having to worry that one day you might forget the faces of your loved ones and be dependent on people you may not recognize for the rest of your life. Instead, you'll be a free man or woman who lives a beautiful, vivid life and enjoys every single moment of it. Just like millions of other men and women like you who even in their late 90s still remember the tiniest details from their teen years. I know how shocking this sounds right now. Believe me, I truly do. After all, you've heard a gazillion different stories about your mental health over the years, and probably a lot of BS too. Your own doctor has probably sold you a lot of false or outdated information. Sure, they always had the best intentions in mind and were always happy to write you that prescription for new, right? Even though your brain cells were slowly failing you every day. I say to you, no more of this. And no matter where you are, whether your brain deterioration was caused by external or internal factors, like a hit on the head or incorrect alimentation, you have a duty to yourself to stay focused right here on this page. Because today, for the first time, your brain itself, along with every other aspect of your life, are guaranteed to change for the better. I promise. You'll supercharge your brain while improving your memory and focus. Your entire well-being will skyrocket with vitality and energy with this 100% natural, safe, and effective trick that has no side effects, but delivers life-changing results. This scientifically proven method that you're about to discover is designed to specifically target the real root cause of brain deterioration by reactivating your natural protection mechanism that affects your brain cells, instead of letting them systematically break. All these benefits come along with substantial improvements in both short-term and long-term memory and attention, and focus improvement guaranteed to add years or even decades to your life. So listen up, because time flies fast. The global brain recovery industry is worth $150 billion, and they're definitely not planning to stop their evil expansion. Absolutely not. The question is, what are you ready to do about it? The real question is, are you going to let them prey on you for the rest of your life while your worst nightmare becomes reality? I really hope not, because what I have to share today is guaranteed to save each and every one of your brain cells and finally give you happiness and peace of mind. But please, don't take my word for granted. Look at some of the 96,300 success stories of this incredible breakthrough. Every day, my phone gets flooded with phone calls, texts, emails, WhatsApp messages, and they all say the same thing: that this program is guaranteed to work for any woman or man out there. So let's get to it then. It's about time you set free from the fogginess you've been experiencing for too long. Like I said, I'm David Clark. Ever since I graduated from Harvard University, I only had one goal in mind: to research, help, and find a solution for people in need, and the domain I chose was neurochemistry. It will jumpstart your metabolism and trigger each and every damaged brain cell you have. During my long career, I've worked with many prestigious doctors, professionals, and experts in their fields, people who've shared my dream and others who were too caught up in their classic treatment methods and didn't agree with my alternative way of thinking. I've seen and treated every single aspect related to brain cell deterioration, and I tried to help as many people as I could. I was also honored to have been part of an elite team of researchers and medical experts that discovered some of the most incredible breakthroughs for these terrible conditions. In my over 30 years of experience, I've helped over 7,200 Americans improve and ameliorate their mental state. I wanted to prove to myself and the entire medical community that brain deterioration can be stopped, and it's not a life sentence. I wanted to prove to them all that brain cell degradation can be stopped. Even though every time I dared to mention this to one of my senior colleagues, they would laugh me out of the room, I never stopped. But before I go on, you should know why 99% of the doctors consider cognitive deterioration normal, a condition that comes with age, they claim, even though it's affecting more and more of our younger population every day. And sure, to some extent, they are right. Over 10 million people in the U.S. suffer from brain degradation. More than 50% of our senior population experiences some kind of memory loss at some point, and this number is expected to significantly increase over the next decade. Now, this may seem commonplace, as all the doctors you'll go to will tell you, but there is no way it is normal, as you'll see in just a couple of minutes. Now, if you or your loved ones started forgetting things or not recognizing faces, you know how vicious this disease can be. It affects every single aspect of your life, including your relationships. First, there are small details you tend to forget, like not picking up something from the grocery store, which you don't necessarily pay attention to. Then you somehow forget more important things, like names, locations, or appointments you need to be at, or missed deadlines. You're not yourself anymore. You always have a fuzzy mind. You can't be as good of a husband, father, or mother as you used to. You constantly see other people's judgmental looks, but they don't know how difficult this can be sometimes. And by the time you know it, the doctor has given you prescription for memory loss pills. You keep wondering, when will all this stop? You feel cursed, and for a good reason. Even with all these solutions that come from state-of-the-art techniques, people are drowning in painful hopelessness, and no one seems to care to find a long-lasting solution. There are 10 million people traumatized from decreasing mental health in the U.S. alone, and yet they are forced to accept a tormenting and unfortunate reality. No major breakthrough treatment, no radical research. People have been convinced that brain deterioration and memory loss are unavoidable and incurable, and no brain surgery can help them get over it. Even neurosurgeons and scientists are sunk in stagnation. They prescribe you the same pills, mental exercises, and propose staggeringly expensive treatments as the sole fix, with no results. I'm sure you know, and have been through all these things already. Forgetting things, small or important, has been a pain in, well, you know where. So you constantly try to take notes, concentrate on details in order to get over awkward situations, or not to make a fool out of yourself. And you can't live with the everyday burden of constantly concentrating not to make mistakes for the rest of your life. Or the thought of forgetting something one day that's so important you might regret for the rest of your life, or worse, end up hurting someone you love. Now, if any of this rings true for you, you should know one thing. This is not your fault. It really isn't. I've been prescribing memory and brain enhancement pills my entire life because that's what conventional medicine has taught me. I used all the methods available to improve people's brain cells. I was intimately familiar with them all. But all it took was one incident alone to bring my knowledge about brain cells and brain health upside down. So stick with me for a couple more minutes, because I'll unveil the story of how I accidentally stumbled across what could be considered the most important scientific discovery of modern medicine. The true key solution that any woman or man can use to quickly and completely restore their perfect brain functions. You see, I have seen countless men and women that came to me to help them, lost in sadness and panic for their slow but certain brain deterioration, willing to spend every single penny of theirs to get rid of this debilitating disease. People that felt cursed and angry that their whole life has suddenly become a shambles and they couldn't do a single thing about it. People that were absolutely innocent and deserved more than this disastrous fate. And yet they were coming through my office door every single day, ashamed and devastated, imploring me to save their cognitive functions. Witnessing so many heartrending cases made me feel sorry for them. And yet I knew deep down that losing your mind was probably the most difficult enemy to be fought with. I always thought this was the way things worked and that it might even happen to me one day too. That the only way to so-called treat mental decline was to prescribe a pill or cognitive exercises. After all, if scientists had found a better solution by now, we would know about it already, right? Well, I couldn't be more wrong. Because one morning, as I was heading to the hospital, I got a call from my neighbor telling me my 65-year-old father almost burnt down the house. Panicked, I rushed home only to find firemen all over my yard trying to put out the fire that was coming out of my kitchen. My father was crying helpless in an ambulance while he was being checked, saying only, "I don't remember. I don't remember." As his eyes were staring at me, I could see the void in them. I later found out that my father, who was visiting us after I left for work, wanted to boil some water for tea and simply forgot about it. He left to buy groceries and completely forgot about the kettle. Luckily, my neighbor saw smoke coming out of our kitchen and called 911, and thank God the firemen came on time before the whole house burnt down. However, my father was devastated. When they asked him how it happened, he couldn't remember anything. Days passed, and he simply wasn't able to recall the moment he put the kettle on the stove. Being a specialist in neuroscience, this raised my attention. Given my experience, I had been monitoring my father from distance, without him knowing, for a long time. He forgot some details, like names of people he just met or locations he had visited decades ago, but nothing out of the ordinary. We all forget such things. Until that day. So I did some investigations. When the results came in, my heart was broken into scattered pieces. His brain cells were at an advanced degree of degradation. It was so bad, I was surprised something like this hadn't happened sooner. Who knows for how long he had been forgetting stuff. The only possible reason I could find after dozens of lab tests was that his age was to blame. It was a diagnosis I had given hundreds of times to other patients, and the only thing I could do was to prescribe some medication that would barely slow the degradation process. Things went from bad to worse as his mental state started to worsen from one day to the next. He started to forget names of close friends, TV shows he saw the night before, and sometimes I think he had trouble remembering my name or who I am. I was beginning to get desperate. I felt powerless because there was nothing I could do to protect the ones I cared for most, and I simply felt furious, outraged about the fact that science, as advanced as it got, couldn't help my father live his life as he deserved to. I was furious that he was completely dependent on scientific discoveries he might not make it to try out, and furious about the fact that for so many years, after endless trying, I couldn't find a solution for a problem everybody will be facing sooner or later. As time went by, I realized my father's mental health was declining, rather fast. He got to the point where he barely recognized his grandson one day. It was ripping me apart, and yet I knew this wasn't going to go away by magic. I knew that brain deterioration was a hard nut to crack. It had taken me over 2 decades to understand this disease and its behavior, and I must say, it's truly one of the trickiest that I've ever seen. The decline of the human brain cell appears out of nowhere. It may affect your right lobe with very subtle and mild symptoms, but your left lobe can compensate until it goes down, and then hell slowly sets in. As time passes, it becomes worse, ruining every day-to-day activity you can imagine. For example, if you suffer from brain degradation, you will start having headaches because you will frequently be overcharging your synapses to compensate for the lost neurons. It will be difficult for you to concentrate, and even work. Even if you try and concentrate, you will feel fatigue easier and faster than a normal person. You will become extremely vulnerable to all types of side effects like extreme headaches, nausea, convulsions, seizures, not to mention dementia, AD, and other such diseases. And if left unchecked, it can lead to life-threatening situations such as loss of consciousness. And the worst part is, it can happen even if you have an athlete's body. It doesn't matter how good the rest of your health is. Mental health degradation makes no exceptions. It is bound to appear regardless of what you do. Now imagine me trying to explain that to my poor father who barely knew who he was anymore. Imagine being the one who has to tell him that he'll have to live like this forever. That the next time he sees his grandson may be the last time he will recognize him. My heart ached for him, and what puzzled me was how on earth his cognitive functions got so bad at such a rapid pace with no signs at all. I stayed late night after night, thinking about this pressing matter, and about other people that came to me for help over the years. It was truly haunting me. Why do some people have perfect memory at advanced ages, while others of their families suffer from big gaps in long and short-term memory, even at young ages? Yet others with no family history damage their brain cells so quickly at young ages. And more important, if science claims decreasing mental health is a terrible disease you cannot avoid and it comes with age, why do so many people as old as 70 have not a single sign of mental deterioration? It just doesn't add up. There had to be something that did not affect brain cells and kept the mental focus 100% intact. I just wasn't able to see it. But as they say, life works in mysterious ways. Ironically, my father's condition got worse and we had to admit him into a hospital. And while taking care of him, as I was constantly visiting him, I met a medical consultant on a 4-week transfer from Madagascar to teach about his medical practices at home. A highly intelligent man, he was one of the friendliest doctors I had ever met, with a great sense of humor, considering English was his second language. And to my luck, we both worked in the same medical branch. And it's my strong belief God brought him into my life to make a miracle, and you'll find out why in a minute. He told me he was a published author and was constantly interviewed by national television, both in U.S. and in Madagascar. I told him about my father's issue, and he wanted to know if he could help me. He had been working from overseas for over a decade for a big pharma conglomerate whose annual revenue was well over $1 billion. So funds weren't an issue, as was my case. You see, besides being an extremely nice, empathetic, and humble person, Dr. Rakoto was also a very good doctor. During his career, he dealt with thousands of extreme and severe cases of brain deterioration, helping each and every one of his patients as much as he could. His work, in every sense of the word, was impeccable. Given the common calling we had, we became close friends over that period. He told me all about his life in his home country of Madagascar, a magical island in the Indian Ocean off the coast of Africa. And that's where the solution was. Did you know it's the most diverse and unique ecosystem in the world? And it's home to plants and animals found anywhere else on Earth. Over 90% of all animals and plants on Madagascar are unique to the island. In fact, many remedies and medicines for blood sugar, heart, and pain, like aspirin and metformin, derive from exotic Madagascan plants, such as white willow, wintergreens, goat's rue. And as he was telling me the beauty of his home, he told me about one of his dear patients from U.S. who went through this similar disease. He told me how he started to forget small things in the beginning, leading up to almost calling 911 for not recognizing his son one night as he came home, believing he was a robber, and how he helped him. So the last night before my father got discharged, I asked him, I begged him if he knew anything at all to help my father, where a decade of American studies had failed. David, my friend, I'm glad you asked me. It's well known, and I'm sure you too have found this over your career, that if anyone experiences sudden and unexplained brain degradation, as your father did, the reason lies in the brain tissue and brain cells. But if conventional medicine hasn't been able to solve this lifelong problem, it's because it's been looking at the whole issue from the wrong angle. I've looked over your father's lab tests, and as I suspected, the problem is the link between brain cells. But don't worry, I have the answer for you. I've treated a patient just like your father. First, let me explain. Your father's brain looks normal with no apparent damage, but what modern medicine can't figure out is that the link between brain cells is severely affected, which means he can't remember things, can't be socially functional, and cannot live his life the way he's meant to be lived. On the other hand, a normal link between neurons means fast and precise information transmission between them, and a quick-witted and sharp mind. The reason why no one could figure out how to stop the deterioration of this link was because they didn't go further in the organism. The place where brain cells start decreasing is not the brain itself. In fact, it's inside our guts. Well, it starts with the distancing of the brain cells, but this is triggered by the dangerous process that happens in our guts. Have you ever struggled to remember something that you've known your whole life and you feel it's on the tip of your tongue? That means the link between the brain cells that have that information isn't fully functional and can't reach you. Believe me, it's not your fault. You simply don't have the right chemicals in your body to support that link. As time goes by and we don't look after these links, things go from bad to worse. Something the mental recovery pills companies won't tell you, and your American doctor doesn't know. Without them, you will never be able to function at 100%, and your brain is slowly degrading. And the so-called miracle pills? Well, they only lower these chemicals and brain cells simply cling onto each other with less and less grip, and once a neuron has nothing to attach to, it dies. And this is why I don't believe in conventional pills for brain damage issues. People are desperately taking more and more such pills, more than ever. And studies have shown brain cell connections have actually been weaker over the past years, or more as society has been evolving. And this problem doesn't necessarily happen with age. This year, they reported the U.S. population who suffers from some kind of declining mental ability is the highest they've ever seen. So, not surprising, the brain pills industry is worth over $80 billion. It's a big business now. I was shocked, but Dr. Rakoto was absolutely right. I could imagine the greedy brain pill industry CEOs laughing as they cash their multi-million-dollar bonus checks at the expense of people like you and I, knowing their solutions are never going to work. It made me sick. So if you thought that your lack of mental exercise caused your brain decay, or if you thought that you didn't manage to take good care of your mental state, think again. I know this because in just 1 minute, I will reveal to you the real little-known cause of declining mental ability as proven by clinical studies, as well as a simple 3-second morning trigger you could do right now to speedily fight the death of neurons. So what causes brain cells to slowly lose contact between them, Doc? That's what I asked him. In Dr. Rakoto's words, the neuron link is attacked and your brain is slowly damaged by microbes. These microbes that originate from the gut are able to pass through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream, and from there get straight inside your brain where they start suffocating it. You see, this infection is sneaky though. It doesn't show signs until it's too late and the links are already broken, ultimately leading to brain deterioration, lack of focus, memory loss, and even AD. But in fact, it is triggered by a variety of microbes inside your guts, such as Aspergillus, Fusarium, Candida, Curvularia, Penicillium, Rhizopus, Mucor, too many to be fought individually. They are literally everywhere around us, from water, plants, and trees, to even starchy foods like bread and potatoes. It's impossible to avoid them, and you're constantly exposed to them no matter where you live, your age, gender, or your body's immune system. All of these travel from your guts through your bloodstream to your brain, attacking the neurons. But why do only some people get to experience the negative effects of this debilitating infestation? The truth is, it eventually affects anyone sooner or later. The only key reason that makes the difference is the capability of the gut to flush them out. It's the reason why some of our senior folks have been rapidly losing their cognitive capability, because their immune system is weakened as they age. That's why most people start forgetting more and more around their 50s, even though they haven't had such episodes all of their lives. Due to the thinness of your intestine wall, which is designed to absorb nutrients, they are able to bypass the digestion process and move further in the body, eventually reaching the neurons as being the coziest place they could rest in. Now, the microbes aren't all that smart, but they are specific, so they go directly to your brain cells and attach themselves to them. And this explains perfectly why you may get hit by brain deterioration at any age and at any moment in life. It's like an avalanche where you have no idea it comes your way and it finally hijacks your body. Yes, that's what it does. It literally takes over your brain cells and does not go away no matter the medication you use. Now, this was actually confirmed by a published research in the Journal of Investigative Neuroscience almost 10 years ago. And Dr. Rakoto has found this in his own research too. In fact, since then, many other peer-reviewed studies have proven the same thing, that the real root cause of brain deterioration is not found inside your brain, but inside your gut. In fact, the problem goes even further. Another study published in the American Psychological Society has also proven that bad gut microbes are actually responsible for many other diseases and organs degradation in our body. But nobody pays attention to it. And yet brain enhancement pill sales are holding high and strong every year. Everything I heard blew my mind. So the only thing that we have to do is stop these microbes from entering your bloodstream and attacking the brain? Then the neurons would have the power to recover themselves, improving memory, attention, focus, etc., I said to Dr. Rakoto. David, look at me. Mark, the 67-year-old patient I was telling you about, recovered 100%, and he is better than ever. He can remember details from decades ago, and I've been testing him every 6 months, and his cognitive system is absolutely perfect. I found the way, he replied passionately. I was intrigued. And then he continued. For us to flush out this poison, we have to safely introduce certain chemicals inside your blood cells, which can attack those parasites. Once these toxic parasites stop invading the human organism, the siege on our neurons disappears in no time. And then your brain gets 100% restored. And then Dr. Ricotto showed me how after 7 years of long, expensive research and countless lab tests, he finally managed to find the right combination of natural ingredients, most of them originating from Madagascar, that helped his patient break free from the brain fog nightmare and completely erase this disease. "Have you tried to publish your findings?" I asked him. "Of course I did. I went to my former employer, showed them the lab results, all my 7 years of research, and after what I think was the longest presentation I ever had, you know what they asked me? They said, 'All right, but how do we make money off this, if people only have to use it once?' The next day, I submitted my resignation. And I have lived every day since thinking the solution will never make it to the public eye. They won't let me. But I also thought that I was not alone against this enemy. We are in this together. Let's do it, David. Here it is. See it for yourself." There it was on the next page of his research book, all the ingredients and specific quantities he'd used to recover 100% of his patient's cognitive functions. Since there are so many microbes out there, and it's literally impossible to fight them all individually, this formula was meant to flush them all out. It took him 7 years and hundreds of different combinations to reach the exact mix that brought back Mark the way his family always knew him. It was incredible. "We have to put this to a larger scale test immediately," I said to my new friend. "Why do you think I came to you?" he replied. So my father was going to be the second guinea pig. So Dr. Ricotto and I gave him the formula and made sure he would follow the program according to his lab test results. I was hoping and praying my father would see the same results as Dr. Ricotto's patient. My father started having constant headaches, on top of everything else, due to his aggravating condition. I was constantly checking on my father to see the results, but Dr. Ricotto told me to wait, as it would take a while. After a few days, the thought of giving up crossed my mind since I didn't see any improvements. But something told me to keep on trying, and I convinced myself to continue just for a little longer. And another few days passed, and still no results. The future looked bleak. Then, one cold morning, my father woke up as he usually did, and we started having the most natural conversation, as we used to do. No strange behavior, no memory fuzziness, no eye staring into the abyss. We were talking like nothing ever happened. I was in shock. Now, let me tell you, he had a state of well-being I had never seen in anyone since, forever. It was single-handedly the most incredible transformation I've ever seen in my life. I called Dr. Ricotto to give him the good news. Then we took my father to tests to see if there were any traces of brain deterioration. The result? His brain cells and brain cell links were fully restored. My father had finally broken free from the brain prison that kept him alive. He started to remember everything. His depression and anxiety reduced. No more moods. His zest for life finally came back, and he was starting to live the life he had always deserved once again. As I was talking with Dr. Ricotto and I told him I was beyond thrilled that our research has finally paid off, he warned me that the remedy was efficient for Mark and my father. But what about other people? We had to test the remedy on more volunteers in order to be 100% sure about its efficiency. So what we did was to post an ad online saying, "We're looking for volunteers." 4 young men and women who forgot little things to those with advanced clinically proven brain damage who barely remembered their loved ones. Those countless individuals that were deceived and undergone by modern medicine, all of them had one thing in common. Cognitive deterioration was ruining every aspect of their lives and the lives of their loved ones. In 2 weeks' time, we managed to gather over 270,000 volunteers ready to validate our theory. Now, I expected the remedy to be efficient, but I did not expect it to be that good. Within just a few weeks, 98% of the participants reported that they had experienced through-the-roof results regarding their cognitive functions. They also reported elevated energy levels, no more crushing headaches. They were in excellent spirits and free from stress and anxiety. Within a few more weeks after that, 100% of the participants reported that they had fully recovered their memory and improved mental health. It was absolutely stunning. And as an unforeseen side benefit, they all observed reduced anxiety and improved mood. Other benefits were normalized blood pressure, reduced risk of respiratory infections, improved digestion, stronger muscles, improved nutrient supply to your brain, better circulation and heart health, sharper vision and eye health. Repeated tests demonstrated no signs of brain damage. Women were glowing with happiness. Color started showing on their cheeks. They looked and felt 20 years younger. The men were full of assertive energy and confident, no longer captives of this debilitating disease. Each one of the participants had crystal clear cognitive functions in just a few weeks. Even the most skeptical ones jumped out of their skin when they got back what they called their old sharp brain. It was plain as day the remedy was working 100%. Dr. Ricotto and myself were watching with utter excitement as our dream was being brought to life. All this pain had to come to an end, and we had to make this available for everyone. So Dr. Ricotto managed to pull some strings, so we found a small independent natural pharmaceutical company in Nevada. And we started looking for producers that only offered the purest ingredients. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. It took us weeks until we found something reliable. You would be shocked if you'd know how ignorant most of these people are when it comes to the quality and purity of the raw materials they produce. We looked for ingredients on 3 continents. Dr. Ricotto used all his connections to make sure we only get top quality ingredients from certified and FDA-approved producers. The job was excruciating. We worked day and night to make sure each ingredient was mixed in the right quantities. But after over a month of hard work, we finally did it. So we put everything in an easy-to-swallow capsule to take once a day with a big glass of water. We called it Fast Brain Booster. The only 100% natural blend that targets the real cause of your brain cell deterioration and replenishes the neurons that dangerous microbes have been damaging without you even knowing, and helps you recover 100% of your cognitive abilities. We only source the purest, highest quality ingredients for this formula. The perfect combination of 14 carefully mixed plant extracts and vitamins into an easy-to-swallow capsule to take once a day. We only produce Fast Brain Booster in our FDA-approved facility using the latest technology and equipment. Every capsule of Fast Brain Booster is non-GMO and safe. It does not require any restrictive diets or starving yourself. In fact, you can continue eating your favorite foods and enjoy the amazing benefits of this formula. Over a dozen independent labs across 2 continents have tested this program on 3,200 women and men from 6 countries to make sure that positive results weren't limited to only a select group of people. Lab tests have shown us that in order for this program to be efficient, all the ingredients have to be mixed only in these exact quantities and in this exact formula. And what we achieved is what most experts call a medical breakthrough. Here's a short explanation on how these ingredients work and why they are so powerful. Step 1, your body absorbs these powerful nutrients. Once you've taken the first capsule of Fast Brain Booster, the nutrient absorption process begins. This blend contains highly effective ingredients and vitamins sourced from specific places like Africa, Asia, Northern Europe, and even Earth's biggest rainforest in Brazil. All these nutrients are crucial for doing 2 things. First, they flush out the toxic microbes that have been causing damage to the link between neurons. Second, they nourish, repair these broken brain cells. Since they are 100% natural and have been selected due to their purity, your body will immediately start absorbing them. And the link restoration and neuron healing process will begin immediately. Step 2, the nerve cell degradation stops. Once your body has absorbed all these powerful nutrients, the brain cell degradation stops. This is extremely crucial. In order for your body to have the power to repair the broken links, nutrients needed for that need to be constantly fed to the cells. To achieve this, we picked a powerful combination of N-addicyl and L-carnitine. This amazing remedy will empower the brain cells itself and can start sending purifying signals through your bloodstream and guts. Step 3. Once the link is restored, the brain itself starts to heal and fight the disease. Now pay attention, because here's where the incredible things start to happen. First, to help you fight the inflammation from your body, we had to carefully blend a proprietary mixture of 14 ingredients, including ginkgo biloba leaf, or maidenhair, is a tree native to China that has been grown for thousands of years for a variety of uses. Because it's the only surviving member of an ancient order of plants, it's sometimes referred to as a living fossil. While its leaves and seeds are often used in traditional Chinese medicine, modern research primarily focuses on ginkgo extract, which is made from the leaves. Studies have found that ginkgo biloba leaf extract helps improve memory and thinking and enhances brain functions. It's also used to develop and activate important white blood cells of the immune system, improves circulation and heart health, reduces anxiety, and improves vision, eye health, all these while treating headaches and migraines. Second, we added phosphatidylserine. Phosphatidylserine is a fatty substance called a phospholipid. It covers and protects the cells in your brain and carries messages between them. Phosphatidylserine plays an important role in keeping your mind and memory sharp. Studies suggest that the level of this substance in the brain decreases with age. This amazing phospholipid not only prevents memory loss and mental decline, but it will boost your brain power. It helps improve short-term memory, mood, and concentration. Next on the list, Dr. Ricotto and I made sure to add another powerful ingredient, the famous St. John's wort. Known for its mental treating properties, St. John's wort is an herbal medicine that works in a similar way to standard antidepressant medication by increasing the activity of brain chemicals such as serotonin and noradrenaline that play an important part in regulating your mood. This amazing herb is also known to have benefits for anxiety, seasonal affective disorder, viral infections, and will also benefit the skin. Oil made from St. John's wort has been used topically for wound healing and a variety of other skin conditions, such as eczema and hemorrhoids. It's one of our star ingredients. It travels through your entire body and puts even the most stubborn microbes outbreak to sleep, safely carrying it out from the body. I mentioned how the brain is basically suffocated, oxygen and nutrients not being able to reach it, so we needed an effective ingredient to clear the pathways, remove inflammation, and nourish your brain. And this is L-glutamine. This amazing nutrient is essential for many bodily functions, but especially important for the brain. It makes it easier for the brain to maintain neurotransmitter balance by increasing the production of glutamate when required for alertness, learning, and memory. And a total of 14 incredible ingredients mixed perfectly to nourish your brain and help you fight off the vicious inflammation from your body cells once and for all. No other known blend can reach the effectiveness of this brain healing solution. And in just a few weeks, you'll finally be your old self again, with an improved learning ability, with no memory problems and powerful mental sharpness. That's because this natural blend does one more important thing. It gives you back your natural-born and deserved brain clarity and helps you regain your life back. It activates your body's natural protection mechanism, which shields your brain cells instead of letting them break systematically and permanently. Besides all these, this amazing formula will guarantee for anyone taking it a brain that's firing on all cylinders, with clear, sharp thinking and razor-sharp focus that helps you solve complex problems in an instant. Now, you may have two questions at this point. How do I get my hands on Fast Brain Booster, and in what quantities should I take this supplement? You see, it's difficult for me to answer the first question. That's because most of the ingredients used to make Fast Brain Booster are extremely hard and time-consuming to source, which makes our ability to keep high stocks on hand almost impossible. Every woman and man that has tested Fast Brain Booster and improved their cognitive functions is asking us for more bottles, for themselves and for their families and friends. This makes our stock run out in days every time we get a new shipment. And you should know that we produce Fast Brain Booster in small batches only, which take up to 3 months to deliver. Which means that once we run out of stock, you'll have to wait another 3 months until you can get your hands on this formula. Then there's the big pharma army of angry lawyers who threaten to shut us down if we don't take this formula down. Now, since you're here, your product is reserved. But unfortunately, if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Now, before I tell you in what quantities you should take this supplement, here's something very important you should know. In order to make this formula work for you, you have to take into consideration to what degree your brain has been affected and how long you've been carrying this issue. Based on a test we made with our partnering lab on over 3,200 men and women from 6 different countries, looking at the states their mental health is affected, I must confess the results were shockingly bad. So when it comes to how much of Fast Brain Booster you should take, our safe response is, don't risk it. After seeing the results of over 93,600 women and men from all over the world, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Fast Brain Booster over a period of 90 days. And if you want to be completely safe, then we recommend taking at least 6 bottles or more. This will naturally boost your mental agility and sharpness for the rest of your days. Tens of thousands of men and women have confidently used Fast Brain Booster with mind-blowing results. They now enjoy the new life that has been given to them. They live a happy, full life where they don't have to constantly worry about future memory loss, declining mental health, or unexplained strange behavior. They are stress-free and anxiety-free. They are now free and ready to explore and enjoy every aspect of their lives without a care in the world, being lucid and creative. and their confidence levels are holding high and strong since they don't have to deal with this frustrating problem anymore. People like Martin Gilmore, a 67-year-old who says, "This product is a miracle. It really made a difference. I felt before these capsules like I was losing my mind. It was slipping away. I couldn't remember what I did the day before. My memory is far better now. Also, I know this is not specifically mentioned as an effect of these pills, but I have more energy and I am happier." Mark from Richmond, Virginia, 56 years old. "It takes time to get circulating through the body like any supplement, but I felt the difference when it did and gained results after a few days. It gave me focus and more clarity in my very stressful world, gave fast resolutions to everyday problem solving and tasks at hand, and allowed me to have a quick response to certain situations and completed tasks without distractions, and didn't have to put much thought into an issue taking up time and space. Felt more relaxed as well because being able to think clearly helps build in the confidence of everyday solutions. I've tried multiple treatments to see which ones are effective for my lifestyle and actually work. None worked, but these have perfect balance." Miranda Fisher, 44 years old, from Memphis, Tennessee. "What made me decide to give it a try? Something about the description of this one convinced me, and I'm glad I did. Initial experience is a positive one as I noticeably get a lot more done both mentally and physically in terms of my IT, writing, personal endeavors, as well as the good old chores that must be done around the house. It is a great price-to-benefit ratio, too. I would encourage others to give this formula a try. Very pleased." Josh Button, 54 years old, from Dallas, Texas. "A friend referred this to me, and while I wasn't sure at first, after reading more about the science behind the product and taking it daily, I honestly can say I'm noticing real results. I feel brighter, more alert, and am experiencing less brain fog. Highly recommend to anyone looking to safeguard their memory and brain health." Now, after hearing all this, you understand why this program was initially priced at $276. Sure, I could have easily done this and people would still line up to get this formula. The truth is, neither me nor Dr. Rakoto are not here to make money. Both of us have made ourselves a good amount of money during our medical careers. But there is just one last thing I want to do before I do that. I want to help you and millions of women and men out there to break free from the brain fog that's slowly taking over, turning into a nightmare. That's why I'm not going to ask you for $276 or even $176 for the program that has already helped 93,600 women and men just like you. In fact, today, while this website is still up, you have a one-time chance to get the clinically proven formula that repairs your brain cells and helps you regain your perfect thinking and focus in a matter of weeks for only $69 a bottle. And because I know how important it is to regain your straight thinking and life, I've managed to get our manufacturer to offer a big discount on the 6-bottle packages of Fast Brain Booster. This means that you can get it for only $49 per bottle and also get free shipping from us for as long as the supply lasts. Once Fast Brain Booster is out of stock, the discount is gone forever. So go ahead, select your package, and join the 97,700 men and women who, for so many times in their beautiful lives, have regained their perfect brain functions. Now, tens of thousands of women and men are already living proof that Fast Brain Booster will get your neurons at full speed and give you back the sharp and perfect mentality Mother Nature gave to you. 3 bottles of Fast Brain Booster will both rid you from the neuron-killing microbes, boost your thinking levels, improve your concentration and focus, enhance mental performances, and even strengthen your immune system. But there is a reason why 98% of our users choose the 6 bottles package. Once you go with the 6 bottles package, in just 6 months from now, you'll be able to completely shield yourself against any microbes that might threaten your body and keep your perfect cognitive functions for years to come. Which also means that Fast Brain Booster will act like a natural defense system against both long and short-term memory degradation, and much more. Now, if this sounds all right, look below now. You'll see 3 packages, 2 of them with the major discount I've managed to secure from our manufacturer. Select the one you most desire. Clinical trials have shown that the 3 or 6 bottle ones are most recommended, and hit the button below. Once you've secured your order, we'll immediately ship Fast Brain Booster straight to your doorstep. Now, this program will do what nothing else could, stop mental decline, and that may be a little shocking to you. I get it. After all, the brain care giants have been preying on you ever since you first stepped foot in their offices. So let me change this right now. I want you to know that every single bottle of Fast Brain Booster comes with a solemn 60-day money-back guarantee. We'll give you a 100% refund even if it's been 59 days. Give this all-natural supplement a try and escape this nightmare. Feel the joy of never having to worry that you might forget familiar faces. See how great it is to see that lovely look of your spouse every single morning, unaffected by this monstrous disease. Experience all this, and in 60 days, if you're not happy with Fast Brain Booster, send me an email or call me, and I'll refund every single penny. No questions asked, no bureaucracy. You've got 2 full months to decide if Fast Brain Booster is the right thing for you. But you need to hurry. Dr. Ricotto and I made a lot of enemies by posting this program online. Vicious pharmaceutical industry giants who woke up this morning and noticed their bank account balance was slimmer than yesterday. Snake-brained drug manufacturers who don't know what to do with their remaining inventory of cheap knockoff products. Each one of them wants this site off the internet. So the next time my phone rings and I'm forced to take this program down, you'll be on your own. But why would you give up on your only real chance you have to actually revive every single brain cell, when you could join over 93,600 men and women in just a few weeks from now, when you have so little time to spend and so much to gain? Just imagine, no more forgotten words, no more eye staring into the abyss alone with your thoughts. No more endless fear of thinking if this is the last thing you will ever remember, and no more brain fog all the time. Imagine quickly finding solutions to complicated problems in an instant, or having improved concentration and sharp thinking. Plus, imagine waking up in the morning knowing exactly what you want and how you want it. And it all starts when you select your package below and hit the buy button now. It's time for you to make a choice. The decision you're about to make will decide the course of the rest of your life. You can choose to stop spending your money on the same old products on the market and hope in vain for a miracle to happen, when you already know that even though they may alleviate symptoms for a while, they do not treat the root cause of your brain deterioration. Or you can take this small step now. Pick your package, hit the button below, and get control over your life again. You have the power to repair your perfect mental focus, and it's only one click away. No more memory loss. No more fuzzy mind. No more fear of future complete brain shutdown. You have the power to get your happiness back, and it costs close to nothing, especially when compared to the price you pay every time you visit your doctor. Not to mention the damage it has on every aspect of your life and your mind and body. This formula works for any type of brain damage, in the early phases or more advanced, you may suffer from. Plus, you're protected by our 60-day no-questions-asked money-back guarantee. So go ahead and select your package now, and you can start being the person that you've always wanted to be. It all starts now with a single click, and it takes less than a minute. Do it now and give Fast Brain Booster a chance.